Alright, welcome in. I'm the Kodiak, and today I'm here to talk about Caleb Williams. When it's come to Caleb Williams over the past few years, the hype has absolutely been inescapable. Every day, all I've heard about is how amazing Caleb Williams is, and if you watch Caleb Williams, he's pretty freaking good. Do yourself a favor and watch some Caleb Williams film if you have not done so already, because he's a really fun evaluation. Whether you think he's good, you'll find a lot to support it, and whether you think he's bad, you'll find a lot to support that as well. But we need to answer the question, is the hype for real? Is he a slam dunk first overall pick? I'm about to answer all those questions in this video, so kick back, leave a like if you enjoy, or you can always wait until the end and hopefully I'll have earned it. Make sure to subscribe because draft season is just beginning, and I can't wait to bring you all this content over the course of the offseason, talk about everything from NFL free agency to prospects, and yeah, let's ride. So this is about Caleb Williams and how he is going to project to the NFL, so I want to provide some context. I was going to wait until the end of this video to explain my thoughts on Caleb Williams as a prospect, and I just want to put this out there now. People trying to compare him to Mahomes are either going to be disappointed or they just have lofty and unrealistic expectations. I still think he is Chicago's first overall pick, but he's not a perfect QB. He's far from it. He's an incredible prospect with he has a couple narrative-based things that the media will get between their teeth and discuss ad nauseum until the season starts. Get ready to hear all the, oh, he's got all the talent, but is he actually a leader a lot? And he's been getting attacked on Twitter because of his painted nails or whatever and the crying, but I don't care about any of that. The Mahomes comparisons are wildly unfair for any college quarterback to live up to. He's not an Andrew Luck or a Peyton Manning level prospect. I think he's more on the range of Burrow, except I do think Burrow was better coming out of LSU. And my comp for him is a hybrid reincarnate of Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. And I mean that in a good and bad way. As much as those guys have been dunked on, especially over the past few years, they have been undeniably some great quarterbacks in the NFL, and they've given us some extremely high level quarterback play in the NFL. So yeah, I think he's slightly below Burrow as a prospect, but for the record, I do think Lawrence was a good QB prospect, but the generational analysis kind of stuck out as lazy to me, especially because I personally thought Lawrence regressed as a quarterback at Clemson going into his sophomore and junior seasons, but I don't know. Is he my favorite over Young, Stroud, and Richardson, all of whom I deemed worthy of a first overall pick last year? Yeah, I would say so. But yeah, I just want to explain why I'm pumping the brakes for Caleb as, this can't miss prospect, and why I think it's becoming a more common narrative that they're not entirely sure, at least people in Chicago aren't entirely sure that he's the savior of their franchise. So Caleb Williams had astronomical hype coming into 2023 with USC, but yeah, the wheels fell off. It was pretty clear after 6 weeks that they did not have a team that was ready to compete for a natty. The team around him was complete garbage. It was wildly overhyped. Losing Addison really hurt him, along with having Brendan Rice being his wide receiver one, who may not be drafted until round 4, 5, 6 of this year's draft, as well as Zachariah Branch being injured. But I just want to say, very little about USC's disastrous season in 2023 was Caleb Williams' fault. The lion's share of the blame has to go to the defense and the supporting cast. And people can point out Caleb Williams' need to play hero ball as a negative, but every drive that did not end in a touchdown for USC was a failure because their defense was so bad. And Caleb Williams has the raw natural talent to get away with it. The USC defense had one of the most embarrassing stretches of defensive play I've ever seen at any level of football. And I watched a lot of bad defense this year when my own Broncos gave up 70 to Miami. But their O-line never gelled. The right side of the line in particular, no disrespect, but no chemistry, no talent, no communication or whatsoever. When I was watching Liato Latu, which no disrespect to him, he'll be a first rounder. He just had the free will to do whatever he wanted to that unit. And the offensive line played awful against Notre Dame and Oregon too, so I hope this can provide some context in the he's not a winner argument against him. But Caleb himself was far from perfect, and that's why I put it in the title of the video. The problem is, matter of fact, he has not been a winner at USC's program. He struggled against ranked opponents throughout his entire college career. That said, his numbers against top 25 ranked teams are significantly better than any other quarterback in the class. Shout out to Josh Sunderbrook from Windy City Gridiron for this table, comparing Caleb Williams and all the other college football prospects to how they performed against ranked teams. But two more things we cannot ignore regarding our evaluation of Caleb Williams. He was not exceptional attacking the intermediate middle area of the field, and that is likely something he will not be able to adapt to in the NFL because he is 6 foot, maybe 6'1" on a good day. And yes, you can succeed at the quarterback position without being 6'5", without being 6'4", but this has been an issue that has plagued guys like Kyler and Russ for years, even though Caleb, I think right now, has better pocket presence than both of these quarterbacks, and it's shown with Russ, and it's caught up to him when he went to Denver, and he clearly showcased what the definition of a declining quarterback is. He completed a comically low amount of passes to the intermediate middle of the field. Oh, and by the way, when we talk about the negatives for Caleb Williams, what if I told you that he was the NCAA all-time leader in fumbles? His coaching in the NFL will beat it into him to stop flailing away with the ball. But ball security is teachable, especially when he forgets a couple times and fumbles. The return to the bench will be a teachable moment for him. And by the way, he's not adverse to throwing the ball away either. Drake May or Jane Daniels, I can't remember which one, literally had one throw away this past college football season. So Caleb's game is developed in that regard. But to Shane Waldron in Chicago or Cliff Kingsbury in Washington, who was an offensive assistant for USC this past year, do either of them have a plan to force that out of Caleb's head to stop turning the ball over? So even though I spent the past few minutes explaining why he is far from a guarantee, let's look at what he does well. When you watch him play, he's pretty dang special. Caleb can make any throw in the NFL. He has good size, great arm, great accuracy, and in my opinion, great pocket awareness and mobility. He can do it all. He can make any throw on the field, inside the pocket, outside the pocket. And he seems to know where everyone is on the field at all times. So if he goes to Chicago, he's going to know what route DJ Moore is running. He's going to know, I mean, if they drafted Dunze, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, that is one heck of a wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 tandem. But it's simply impossible to watch Caleb Williams without concluding that his arm is special, because even the throws he makes on the run are like jaw-dropping. And not only can he scramble, but he is a legitimate running threat who can use his wheels as a weapon at any point. And I'm a believer that you draft quarterbacks for traits in the modern NFL. And there are so many unteachable aspects to Caleb Williams' game that are just absolutely jaw-dropping, like elite NFL QB tier tools. Just look and admire some of these throws, and a lot of these only a certain handful of NFL quarterbacks can make. He's also a developed football mind. You'll rarely see him hyperfixate on one guy. People say he bails on pockets, but I never saw him bail for no reason. And if he did bail, like I said, his legs are a legitimate weapon. And there are so many ridiculous things this guy can do. Off-platform throws are the trendy thing now in the NFL since Mahomes came into the league. And Caleb can also do it in a big way, just like all the elite guys in the NFL can. D linemen are getting better. Edge rushers are getting better. So your quarterback needs to have some sort of escapability. A quarterback who's the statue in the modern NFL is a recipe for disaster, especially with the way defenses are going and the fact that defenses have gotten way, way, way better over the past few years, and they're only going to get better. And yes, there have been many toolsy quarterbacks who have failed in the NFL. Is he perfect? No. Can he bust? Yeah, anyone can. If you get drafted to the wrong situation, you may just be doomed from the start. Mahomes was probably the most naturally gifted quarterback this game has ever seen, and I don't even think it's a question as to if he develops even as close to as well as he did if he went somewhere besides Kansas City. But Chicago is not a bottom feeder anymore. They're probably a little bit of a below average team, especially because I don't like Eberflus as a head coach, but they really turned it on towards the end of the year. But I really hope Chicago drafts him with their first overall pick. He is far from a guarantee. He is far from perfect, but he is incredible. He is absolutely amazing, and I do think he is one of the best quarterback prospects we have seen in a long time. All right, that does it for me, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.